How's it going, everyone? Welcome to my Q1 trading review. This is a little bit late, just about 5 weeks or so maybe not too late. But apologies for that. I had some computer issues. My old computer was running out of space, so I was trying to sort that out, and then eventually just got a new computer. So that's all sorted out. The second part was a little bit unexpected, but I think should make this easier. I was not super happy with the trading app I was using. I was using TradesViz, which was not bad, but I just felt it had too many features that was not helpful to me as a trader. And I get it because they have to appeal to a lot of different kinds of traders. But I felt that I could make a much more helpful trading log. So what you're seeing is the output of that. I had pretty much vibe coded a trade log for the past, I don't know, a couple weeks or so. It's mostly done at this stage, just some small tweaks, and kind of have like a closed beta right now. Just getting it tested by some people who are not me. But I'll be kind of using this to do the review today. So if you guys find it helpful, and if anyone else wants to give it a try, give some thoughts, let me know. I can share you the GitHub link so you can try it out yourself. Okay. So, and I guess I should also say before I get started, I've set it up for all the tabs that I need. So I have like all my trades for the last quarter over here. I have this review tab, which is me doing like a review of the charts, and I can mark charts and look at stuff and make notes and comments and stuff like that. This is for me organizing all my game plans for the week. And then this performance is sort of like a general overview. And I can filter by all these different time periods and so on. So that's the general layout as I go through it. So I'm going to start over here in the goals section, starting with what were my goals for last quarter. Well, one was to reduce my C game mistakes, was to get a 30-day trade execution streak, right? So just hitting what I think is a good setup in a row, and just executing my swing trades flawlessly. So get good entries, get good setups, and here's my plan. Either it works or it doesn't work. And, that's that. So the market conditions for the quarter was pretty flat, right? Pretty flat. It's hard to trade directionally. If you look at the market over here, here's pretty much all of Q1, right? Whereas January here, here's January. So all flat over here until pretty much the very end of March here. From the first 2 months were flat, and then the last 2 months we got this move down lower. With some news and, Iran war and things like that. So that was coming into play. So how did I do? Well, overall, here are all the trades I took for the quarter. I did end the quarter slight positive, win rate 45%, profit factor 1.2, 84 trades. Here's the breakdown for swing trades and day trades. Here is the strategies for in general. So whether it was like the swing trade was an out of the money short put, or if I took an in the money call or put, or was it shares? My day trades were all shares and so on. So overall, I kind of lumped this into a couple things that worked well, a couple things that didn't work well. So let's start on the day trade side. On the day trade, I was trying to sort of find my footing. I first tried trading VWAP bounces, and that had some mixed results. I tried doing just sort of steady grinders that also had mixed results. Did a little bit better, but they both kind of didn't really end up working out. And if I just go to some profitability here and I just look at day trades during this time period, you can see that it's just a steady bleed lower here for the most part, as I was kind of getting rid of profits. But it was not a huge amount of money. I was trading like 10 shares, just a small amount, because I wanted to get that win rate up and that consistency up. So, I guess the good thing about those day trades was that I learned that being a little bit too mechanical almost doesn't work for me. Like I had very set rules of what was happening, and the good thing is it kept me out of trouble and it made the system really easy. But the bad news is that the hard rules work maybe for a certain condition, but they don't really work overall in general. There's just too much kind of variability. So I kind of realized that, okay, I need maybe a more contextual way of trading, right? That's a little bit more fluid. I think I'd gone too rigid, and it needed to be a little bit more fluid in the day trades. My swing trades overall were a lot better. I think if I go to swings here, you can see that we were up, we were down, and we finished up in the month over here. And I think actually if I go to my swings over here, so I didn't take a lot of swings. I had only 2 losses on my swings. One was Rocket Lab on a long over here that didn't end up panning out, and then a small one on CSTM that also didn't really pan out too much. And this is the P&L per unit, so I'm not really showing. I'm just showing the size per contract. But overall, they did pretty well. The out of the money short puts did pretty good as well. That was a pretty successful strategy, and then that helped me salvage the month a little bit. The swing trades I think helped me a lot, and I didn't take a lot of directional trades in the sort of first half of the month. Just a couple here because I was waiting for some spies to kind of come back down. I didn't really want to force trades, but I was picking really strong stocks that were moving up, and then taking more passive profits on those, and that was working out pretty well in general. So that was that for the swings. So kind of coming into Q2, my game plan was a couple things. So first, I kind of realized that at the end of Q1, what made me more upset, I'd say, was not that, I didn't really make a ton of money. I still, market was flat. It was not the easiest market to trade. I didn't lose a lot of money. I made a little bit of money. So I'm okay with that. But it wasn't where I wanted to be. And it wasn't where I felt it. I think what really made me more upset and kind of pissed me off, frankly, was that it was the same result as Q1 last year. And then it felt like I wasn't making any progress. So I kind of took a step back. I was thinking about it and I was like, all right, well, I need to change something here, right? What can I change? What makes sense? The first thing is on the day trading, where I kind of just said to myself, hey, I'm a good day trader and I'm going to start acting like it. And it was just kind of a mental adjustment. And I sized up, which is a bit strange because I didn't have this success really, but I sized up and I was like, all right, if I lose, I lose, but I'm just really going to try to nail my setups. And I wasn't really going to force too many day trades. I feel like my sweet spot for me is 1 trade a day, maybe 2 trades a day kind of trader. And that gets me in a good spot. So that's really where I am pretty comfortable on. And it's a nice spot because I do miss on some trades, obviously, but I feel like it helps me hone in on what really is the best trade at the best time, at the best entry. And it has me really waiting for trades versus kind of going all over the place and taking trades. So that 1 to 2 trades a day is really nice for me. The second thing was that my out of the money put strategies was working really well. I found that obviously we had a good market for it. I think I had a good eye for picking stocks for it and getting a good return. Generally speaking, my rule of thumb is that I try to find, a good clear level of support, some SMAs, maybe a big gap. And the stock should be at least 2 ATRs away from the price. And I want to get stocks with some good premium. And it should be relative strength. It should be a strong stock. And, ideally, look, if I get filled, then I'd be able to buy the stock back. But so far my win rate has been really good on these. If I actually go to this strategy here on the out of the money puts, so I out of the 14 trades I've taken, some of them are incomplete, but I've won all of the 11 trades that I've closed. I've won all of the 11 trades. And if I just look at the full ones over here, which are 9 swing trades, they've all been really well, all been pretty profitable. And actually even holding them for a little bit longer for a couple of days has worked out really well, especially with this market where it's so bullish, that you can afford to hold them a little bit longer. So that has been really, I've been kind of leaning into that a lot more. And now that the market's bullish, we can take some more directional swings. So if you see over here, right, we made a really big move up, and we kind of had this move. We made a big move up here. We compressed for a little bit over here, and now we're making this big move up again. I know this is kind of blocking it, but we're making this big move up again. So we got a really strong market for swings. And me personally, I think the market has a decent chance of maybe pulling back, slowing down a tad over here for the next week or so. So the short puts that I'm in should give me some profit while that happens. And then I'm just looking up for some stocks that hold up pretty well while the market pulls back, especially coming into NVIDIA earnings. I don't know if that's going to be a bellwether or not for semis, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the plan. I'm leaning more into the out of the money short puts over here, and sizing up the day trades, and that's been working pretty well for me in Q2. I think some of the room for improvement I have is to probably taking some more starter position on swing longs. It's a little bit trickier because I feel like now there's a little bit of a chasing feeling if you take them right now. So I'm going to wait for a pullback. I'm not going to be able to get like a whole 5-leg swing, but I might be able to get a 2 or 3-leg swing on these for the next month or so. And it should be in good shape. So overall, I think my Q1 was fine. Wasn't where I wanted to be, but it did kind of light a fire and made me kind of start acting like the trader that I know I can be, which is a big mental shift. And then 2, I think actually making this journal has been helpful because it gives me the tools for me to better analyze my trades and review my trades. So like, for example, for my day trades this week, right? Like, let's look at, like, Dell was my best trade, Dell and Shop, right? So I can look at Dell. I can say, hey, like, I can write down all my stuff. I can make it really easy to reflect on my trades and look at these charts and mark them. And doing that exercise constantly, right? Weekly at least, but ideally daily. That helps me just keep a pulse on my craft, right? Of like, all right, well, here's where I would have entered. Here's what the market was like. I can take a step back and really look at the trades, and compare trades across different days and so on. So, that was all, like, doing that is really helpful. And I was doing that in PowerPoint and Excel and everything, but now it's in one place. So that's very helpful. And same thing with the swing trades as well, right? I can, if I look at like, for example, Marvel, right? I took this long earlier. Market went up, stock was flat, so I took out the trade, and then and I have my reasons for it. I said, hey, but this is a good pick. It's a good entry, but stock didn't really respond to the market, and I felt like market's going to pull back a little bit here. So I'm going to take some small gains and then look to get into a better stock. So it's not really a journal plug, but I just wanted more to emphasize that, hey, like, making a lot of these things automated has helped me as a trader because I can focus less on manual trades or the manual part of making all of this and just focus on analyzing the trade, right? This should help me become a better trader because I'm spending more of my time on the high value items than just this low value sort of manual grunt work, which has a place. I think there's like a character building to that. But also at a certain point, you want to really just be analysis and execution. Let me see if there's anything else I have for swing trading. That's it, really, for Q2. So Q2 is off to a good start. And a couple shifts that I've been making. So actually weekly, if my account is up, I've just been withdrawing some income. That has been a nice mental boost for me. And it helps me sort of track just income I'm taking out. And so every week is like, all right, if you're up this week, cool, you take some money. And then restart from zero next week. So that's been pretty nice. And again, just a nice sort of, maybe not a morale boost, but it helps because I'm saying, all right, well, like this is what I would do if I were doing it full time, right? I would be taking out money, some people every month, that's fine, or maybe every other week. But for me, having a weekly paycheck is really nice. So I will take that all day. And obviously now if the account is down, so I have a $50,000 account. So if I end the week below that money level, then I don't take out any money. If I ended above that level, by some margin at least, then I'll take some money out. That's pretty much how it works. So that was one mental shift. I talked about increasing the size of the day trades. That has been going well. There's a less is more, taking 1 or 2 trades a day. I've been doing well on the out of the money short puts, so really pushing that strategy and capitalizing on that. And then the final part, the goal for Q2 is doing those and then taking some long swings. And this is a time where you can take and ride long swings and make a really nice boatload of money. So that is the plan for Q2. But yeah, a couple key learnings here is just, I'd say mainly a mental shift, and also the market conditions improved, right? You can't ignore that, right? It was hard when it's harder market conditions. The mentality is different. When it's easier market conditions, the mentality is different, right? You're going from hit and run, choppy market, low probability market. You're like, oh, when this is going to end, and then when it finally ends, you get a nice trading opportunity, and that's what we've had for the past month or so. Even in March, there were some better opportunities, at least because we got some market movement and we broke out of the range. But I mean, April has just been a crazy month, just a huge market gain this month. So I mean, will it continue at the same pace? Probably not. I think it'll continue at a slower pace now. We made a big chunk of the moves, but there's still a good opportunity here to get money on the long side. The other thing too is like I felt that honestly in Q1 there are more out of the money short puts that I could have taken advantage of and boost my account, and I think that would have helped a lot because when the market is not really moving at all, right? Like you still want to be able to have some floor of income, and I think that strategy, or even just put selling or put credit spreads, I should say, those can give a nice floor where I'm like, all right, I don't have to make as much as I do during a nice, really bull run, but this creates a nice floor for me to do really well on. Do really well on, and what should I say? Kind of keep me afloat where I can still hit my goals for the quarter if it's a slower conditions. And it gives you more tools in your belt, right? Where it's like, all right, choppy market, slow market, you can take some out of the money short puts. We got a trending market. You can still do those on some off weeks, and then you can look for some directional trades as well. Day trading, again, it's tougher in a slower market, but I think just having less trades, picking my spots, that really works well for me. So yeah, well, that is it for this video. It's again pretty short, but I think some key points, which I'm gonna go over one more time. Key changes I made for Q2: start acting like the trader that I am. Take advantage of these market conditions. Lean into out of money short puts, since that's been working really well for me. Continue to trust my day trading process of a less is more, really high quality, waiting for your time to strike and then striking hard. Just keep churning through that, and keep focusing on the market, right? Kind of market's going to move up, but there's going to be bends and twists and turns. So how aligned am I with these twists and turns? Am I thinking one step ahead, or am I one step behind in the market? Do I feel like I'm chasing, or am I waiting for my opportunity to get a good entry over here? And that's really where I feel the strongest, right? When I'm waiting for my opportunity and things line up, then I can take that entry and, be in good shape. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope this was helpful, and I will see you all in the next review video, which will be at the end of Q2. Thanks for watching.